What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Q&A. Much obliged for stopping by and wasting your precious time. 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours of your precious time you could be using to do literally anything else, like spending time with your family, hanging out with your friends, I don't know, hanging out with your girlfriend or boyfriend, making love, or I don't know, visiting some place, doing some game hunting, playing video games, watching shows, learning to play an instrument, I don't know. You could be doing anything. You could be doing anything, but instead you decided to spend that time asking me your goddamn questions. Appreciate that. What's up, guys? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, how are you guys? I'm okay. I believe that it is absolutely necessary to tell you that I'm okay. What do I think about the Switch 2 drama? What's the drama? It's too expensive? We remember when we talked about, well, when we kind of predicted how much it was going to be. We talked about this months ago, and I remember we came up with between $400 and $500, right? I think it was that. Months ago, we thought it was going to be between 400 and 500 US dollars. So now it has been revealed that it's going to be 450, right? So what's the drama? I mean, sure, it's a high price. It's $50 less than PlayStation 5. Maybe those $50 are what's causing the drama. Because, to be honest, $400 is what most people were expecting the Switch 2 to cost, right? But $50 is $50. It may not be much for you people living in first world countries, but it is a lot of money for other countries. It is a lot of money in Mexico. $50 is the equivalent of 1,000 Mexican pesos. And boy, you can pay with that money a lot of things. So those $50, those 50 extra bucks, that's what's causing the problem. I believe that the drama. And another thing is that, well, the problem with the Switch 2, we already discussed this already, is that it's a console that's not really a brand new console. It pretty much feels like a Switch Pro. You know, like PlayStation 3 Pro, or 4 Pro. 4, right? It was 4. PS4, vanilla, PS4 Pro. So this Switch 2, we already talked about this again. It doesn't really feel like a brand new Nintendo console. It's just the Switch Pro. They just call it the Switch 2 instead of calling it something else. You know, it was kind of like 3DS, new 3DS. I don't know. Imagine a Nintendo 64, well, different GameCube 2. But no, they called it the Wii back then because the Wii was like entirely different, right? But this is Switch 2. So it doesn't really feel like a new console that should cost $450. I get it. So there's dramas about that? Okay. The tariffs are gonna make it more expensive. The games are gonna be $80. Oh wow. And wasn't Mario Kart 2 World or something? Mario Kart World? Isn't that gonna cost like $100? In El Salvador, Switch 2 is gonna cost like $700. Same here in Mexico. I mean, not 7, but it's in here. It's at least gonna be $500. at the very least here in Mexico. We're still part of North America, luckily, you know, but it's gonna be like $5.50 here in Mexico, I'm pretty sure. So the price is stupid, the price of the games are stupid. Oh, Mario Kart is also $80, okay. Plus a million DLCs that people are gonna pay. Yeah. You know what my problem is with a lot of people? That they make these fucking dramas and they end up buying the console, buying the games. I don't understand people, man. They go out there and bitch about the price and make these dramas, you know, and those are the very same people who end up buying the console and paying for those fucking prices. Buying those fucking games. So, what a beautiful, logical world we live in. Anyway, so, before you ask, what's my opinion on the Switch Nintendo Direct? I didn't watch it. I was like, it's gonna be 1 hour and a half long, or at least 1 hour long. I was like, nah. I could watch it on parts though. Like, I watch live streams. Like, I imagine a lot of you watch my live streams, especially when I upload them from Twitch to YouTube here, like the Sega Saturn that I just did. I'm pretty sure a lot of you just watch like 20 minutes or half an hour and then next day another half an hour and so on. I could have done that with the Nintendo Direct, but nah. I was like, I don't give a shit. You wanna know why I don't give a shit? Because all I did was fast forward to see what were the games being announced, and the large majority of the games announced were like the same fucking games they had already announced. New games? Okay, Bravely Default Remaster or Remake, or I don't even know. I'll be honest, that's great news for a lot of you who are fans of the game. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of the Bravely series. I'm not a fan of Bravely Default in the 3DS. Never finished it. I got to that part. I don't know. I got bored with the game. You know, I got bored. I've talked about it. Maybe someday I'll dedicate a full video review to it. Maybe when the remake comes out, if there's a demo, I can put both versions together. I don't know. I'll do something, you know, maybe. But that's a game that made me, I got bored and I dumped it about 8 or 9 hours in. And then I found out that you get to a point where you gotta repeat all dungeons. It's like a loop. And I was like, oh, hell no, thank God I ditched this game, you know? So, oh, it's being remade or remastered or great, you know? And it's a Square Enix game, so you can expect political alterations to the dialogue and lines or some censorship, you know? But in the trailer, I just want to point out that Agnes looks very sexy, as she should. And then the new Souls game. So it's Bloodborne 2. I forget the name. Like Death Dusk. What was the fucking name? You guys know me. I don't give a shit. I'm sure that's a huge fucking deal. I know that, you know? Oh, a new From Software Souls game, you know? That's great. Duskblood. Thank you. That's wow, right? But you guys know me. No one's gonna ask me about that because you know me. I'm not a fan of From Software. I'm not a fan of the Souls games. You know, I like some Souls-like games, like Code Vein and others, but the main series, the Souls, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Sekiro, Elden Ring, I don't really care. So, but anyway, if you're a fan of From Software, good for you, a new Souls game. Congratulations. And what else? Mario Kart, Donkey Kong. They're gonna sell to you the Zelda games once again, because obviously these are the Switch 2 versions. And when the Switch 3 comes out, people are gonna buy the same fucking 2 games again, because now they're gonna be in 4K finally. Because these are the ones that are going to be 1080p 60 frames per second. When the Switch 3 comes out in 10 years or less, Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom 4K edition. Buy them, please. Nintendo. Go Nintendo, go woke Nintendo. The woke people hate capitalism, and all Nintendo does is capitalize on all games and sell you the same games again. And people are, oh, Nintendo is so woke. Sure, it is. That's my opinion on the Nintendo Switch Direct, Nintendo Switch 2 announcement, June 2, 2025. Great, I'm not buying it. So what's your opinion, guys? Let me read your comments. I'm sorry, I don't give a shit. Are you gonna branch out into more RPGs like Witcher 3? No, man, I gave up on Western RPGs. I'm kinda giving up on JRPGs. Western RPGs, I gave up. They're all fucking politicized trash. Or are you asking me if I should go back to the old Western RPGs? Like really old? I don't think so. What's your opinion about the game key cards? I don't know what that. Some physical games will not be in the cartridge. They will include a game key for you to download it. That's fucking horseshit. More horseshit. There wasn't a single RPG either. Bravely Default. Oh, yeah, they also announced Raidu Kusunoha, but we already saw that last week, 2 weeks ago when it was announced. At least we know what the useless feature will be this time, mouse mode. Oh, we already saw that when they first announced it months ago. We already talked about that. Oh, jams. Well, I already talked about that, so they missed it. If more people are gonna show up today and ask me about that, tell them I already talked about it. There are so many games now, plus the backlog. How do you choose what to play now? Now, it's really hard. Let me read the rest of the comments about the Nintendo Direct, and then I want to answer that question. Nintendo and their greed. Seriously, Eric? At this point in 2025, people asking that? Oh, the stream was so scuffed? The sync audio. If you have the Switch version, you can upgrade for $10-15. So they're gonna charge you for upgrading to wow, Nintendo. Holy shit, we thought PlayStation was like the worst fucking thing ever, and then Microsoft with Xbox, and now Nintendo joins in to be insulted by the entire world. They don't give a shit. People are gonna buy their console and they're gonna make millions of dollars. They don't give a shit. That's why companies don't give a shit, because people have become so fucking stupid that they're going to buy their products no matter what. They don't care. Insult them all you want. They don't give a shit. They're gonna sell a lot. I'm not buying anything though, but I'm not gonna do that poll, man. Whatever, because they're just gonna prove my point and then feel offended and unsubscribe. Talked about what? The Nintendo Switch 2. Do you think the Switch 2 will become the Wii U 2? No, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be a success. Yeah, a lot of people are not gonna buy their games, but you belong to a minority, believe it or not. Most people are still gonna buy the console day one. Most people are still gonna buy games day one. It's not gonna be a failure. Impossible. Oh, they're gonna compete with PlayStation with an Astrobot game? You have a minor Switch backlog? A minor Switch backlog? Wow! Because me and everybody else here has like a huge Switch backlog or any other console backlog. You claim to have a minor Switch backlog? Wow, that's a big deal, man. Only 100 games back. Oh, only that. Yeah. Oh, maybe he's right. Well, some people can be very selective. I myself, I don't consider. Somebody was asking me about this question. Let me connect both questions. Somebody asked me about how do I deal with my backlog and how do I choose which games. I made a video a long time ago on how to deal with your backlog. RPG focused video. But that was years ago, and nowadays I feel more overwhelmed. Because back then, I cared more about new JRPGs because I was getting some review codes from different companies and not exactly chasing the trend, only chasing the trends that mattered to me, that I liked. And nowadays, because of politics, I don't give a shit about anything new, you know. But that, I already talked about this plenty of times. That made me look back at all of my backlog from since the NES era until the PlayStation 4 era, you know, Switch era. And I was like, holy shit, you know, I have tons of fucking games to play. So now to answer that question, how do I choose games nowadays? Sometimes it's easy because I play something that I really want to keep playing. Usually I do the Twitch streams. You will find a link to my Twitch channel in the description. That's where I do my streaming. As you may have noticed, I don't stream on YouTube anymore games. The Q&As are still a thing, you know, but I don't really play anything live here on YouTube anymore. Maybe the occasional one. There's gonna be an episode of the worst JRPGs ever this month, but that's probably gonna be it. So I moved 95% of my live streaming when it comes to video games on Twitch. Link to my Twitch channel in the description. So I've been doing a lot of variety streams. Some of them I upload on my second channel here on YouTube. Others I upload on this very same channel. You already noticed that. And there's always one or two games, especially RPGs, that I'm like, wow, you know, I want to continue playing this, you know. So sometimes I don't have to choose. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, that, I really feel like playing that and continue playing that. You know, that's what happened to me with Isuna. Surprisingly, me, a roguelike RPG, I know, and I just reviewed it. And now I'm playing Isuna 2. I'm also playing Shining Blade. So I'm playing two RPGs at the same time. You know, because previously I finished Isuna on the Nintendo DS. And before that I finished Ash, Archaic Seal Heat, also on the Nintendo DS. I just reviewed them recently in a video called 5 Great JRPGs Nobody Played. So check it out. But other times, you know, when I finished those games, I was like, what do I do? Remember the example I just told you, that I played all these fucking games, and usually that's how I make my decision. But now I have a lot of Sega Saturn RPGs, PSP ones, you know, games that are there, you know, Isuna 2, for example, Shining Blade that I'm playing right now. I want to keep playing that Valholian game on the Sega Saturn, Dragon Force 2. Like, holy shit, now I have a backlog, a minor backlog of a bunch of JRPGs that I really want to play, and I can't play them all at the same time. I'm usually the kind of guy who plays only one or two at a time, and that's it. So I find it really hard nowadays to choose which JRPGs to play first. But I'll be transparent as always, you know. I usually give priority to the game that's gonna be more convenient for my YouTube channel. Like, for example, I really wanted to play that Valholian game or Dragon Force 2, but those are fan-translated JRPGs exclusive to the Sega Saturn. And there's a lot of people that within my audience that don't really give a shit about the Sega Saturn, sadly. You should, especially if you like emulation, the console shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter if a game is on the Wii, if a game is on the NES, Sega Saturn, it's free. What does it matter? Just fucking play it, it's free. Oh, it's not on PlayStation, it's on Sega Saturn, no, I'm not playing it. Dude, you're not paying for it. You're gonna play it for free. And the emulator is gonna make it look as if it was remastered with upscale graphics. So what? Wow, if I want to make a top 10 Saturn RPGs, no one's gonna watch it. Why? What does it matter? Fucking people. But anyway, going back, I digress. I chose Shining Blade on the PSP and Isuna on the DS, Isuna 2, because those are consoles my audience likes. Most of my audience likes are into Nintendo DS and PSP JRPGs, not so much Sega Saturn. So the game that I think my audience are gonna be interested in the most, that's my pick. That's how I choose my games, because this is my job. Otherwise, I will be playing Dragon Force 2, and I wouldn't give a fuck. But I have to give a fuck, because this is what I do. This is my job, right? So that's the answer to your question. That's how I choose my games. But sometimes, kind of often actually, I get like whimsical. On a whim, I picked like, well, for example, Izuna 2. Yes, it's on the Nintendo DS, and people are into Nintendo DS JRPGs more than the Sega Saturn RPGs. But Izuna is a roguelike RPG. That's like the least favorite subgenre of RPGs in this channel or for my audience. You want your turn-based RPGs, right? Your action. But roguelike, no one fucking cares, and I'm still gonna play it, and I'm still gonna talk about it. You know? So it's not all the time. Sometimes I do give priority to some games, like the Suikoden remasters. I didn't need to play them again, because I've beaten those games a million times. But I was like, hey, I gotta play them for the review, right? So sometimes it's like, fuck it, I don't care, I'm gonna play this fucking game, even if my entire audience doesn't give a shit about it. And I will talk about it. That's my answer. Damn. Sorry, I missed a lot of questions. I'm not gonna monologue again. I know you hate it. What was your favorite game when you were growing up? Yours was between Morrowind and Final Fantasy Tactics? Oh, you're a young fella. I grew up with NES and SNES, man. My favorite game growing up, I've had different games for different eras. When I was a little kid, I think my favorite game was, let me think, probably Super Mario Brothers, the first one, because I only had 3 games. When I got the NES, we only have, my siblings and I only had Super Mario Brothers with Duck Hunt, and then we had Excite Bike and Skate or Die. I loved Skate or Die. I know it's a terrible game, it is. I grew up with it. But out of those 4 games, because we started renting games, of course, and when I got to the age of 10, I kind of started like not collecting them, but we had our small collection had grown. And then Xexis on the NES came to my life, and that's my favorite NES game, so that became my favorite. Batman Returns also. But I think my favorite growing up as a little kid was probably Super Mario Brothers, the original, the first one. And then when I was a teenager, probably I beat the shit out of Mortal Kombat Ultimate and Street Fighter 2 Vanilla. Ah, man, what a hard question. When will you make a long play of Panzer Dragoon Saga? Yeah, I haven't streamed that game, you're right. Yeah, I should stream that game soon. Opinions on the Lunar Remaster, let them come out first. Hopefully there will be a demo, enough to make a comparison with the original versions. If you play Fear and Hunger one day, it'll be hilarious. That game is banned here on YouTube, I think. You can't stream it unless you get unless you want to get demonetized. But I don't see it on the Twitch banned list. Maybe I could stream Fear and Hunger on Twitch. Maybe. You know, I really want to play that game. Do I recommend Lunar, like the original versions? Yes, I do. They're fun games. Are you mainly emulating or still playing physical games? No, I'm emulating everything nowadays. Have been for a long time. Every now and then I do pick up one of my physical games, you know, but most of them I already beat. Anyway, yeah, most of my gaming life nowadays has been circling around emulation. Have you seen I show speed streams on China? No. That's right, Sleepy Gamer. Saturn emulation is now excellent. In the past, and I suffered in the past, I couldn't do a proper emulation of the Sega Saturn, you know, but yeah, I've been having a blast. I'm in love with the Sega Saturn. Mortal Kombat Deception is the best of them all. Isn't that on the PlayStation 2? I already talked about the Switch 2, Roberto. Do you think it's more expensive on the long run to buy a powerful gamer PC to play, emulate games, or to buy gaming consoles games? I think it's cheaper to buy a PC and emulate everything. Opinions on Lost Soul aside, I don't know what that is. Isn't that a new Chinese game or something? A Korean game? I don't know anything about. You really do miss the Versus episodes? You sure you don't want to do them again? It's you guys who don't want them again. I don't have a problem doing them again, but people stop giving a shit about the Versus episodes. It's not me, man. What do you think about the card minigame in Final Fantasy IX? It was fun. The English dub is not gonna be in the Lunar remasters? I didn't know that. I have played AI Limit. If it's got 65 from critics, it's probably because it's too hard. Yeah. There's no need for a super expensive high-end PC anymore for emulation. A mid-range one will cover a lot of systems at 100% speed. My laptop, and it's not even a PC, it's a laptop. This one is a mid-tier laptop, mid-range laptop, and it runs anything from Wii U below that. It ran Suikoden. I played Xenoblade. I have some questions for you guys. I need your help. Xenoblade Chronicles X Remaster. I played it on this laptop and it runs. Sure, when you're running around, you know how you can run in Xenoblade Chronicles, right? And then, but if you there's an option to dash. So if you start dashing and moving the camera, it lags. It's choppy. Like you're running and you're moving the camera and it's like it pauses for a second. You know, it's like choppy. The emulation in this laptop isn't choppy. I mean, this laptop cannot emulate PS4 games. PS3, no problem. Wii U, Xbox 360, but PlayStation 4, it can't. It's choppy, you know. But Switch is a bit choppy for some games, especially for ones like Xenoblade Chronicles X, which are kind of AAA, you know. But the one like Suikoden Remasters ran well. Unfortunately, Suikoden 2 kept crashing on me. I did a live stream on Twitch a few weeks ago, and it just kept crashing and crashing and crashing. I don't know if it's because of the ROM or the emulator, or if it's too much. Maybe Suikoden 2. Suikoden 1 ran no problems. Suikoden 2 kept crashing. Again after, you know, this area and this other area, you know, just kept crashing. I don't know about that, so. I can't vouch for Switch emulation running at 100% in this laptop, but anything below that runs perfectly fine. I mean, the fan still becomes really loud, you know, like shh. Even with some Sega Saturn games, I don't know why, but I'll need something extra for the fan. This is not an Asus, this is an HP, and I have NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050, Intel Core i5. It's a mid-tier, you know, it's like 2 or 3 generations ago, right? And it's fine, I'm happy with it, happy with my purchase. The only thing I fucking hate is the webcam. As you can clearly see, it sucks. Which card game do you like better? Type Triath or Tetra Master? Which are those? Which is Tetra Master from Final Fantasy IX? I don't know the names of the mini games. I mean, I remember the mini games, but I just don't know what they're called. HP Omen, that's right, Victus. But I do have HP Omen. Heating is a thing, I know that. I'm gonna have to buy that fucking thing that you people put below, you know, for the fan. Switch emulators rely on a shader building, so maybe that is the one reason. I haven't fucked with the emulation on the Switch that much, you know. I have a question. About Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I haven't touched it in a week. I downloaded the ROM a few weeks ago when it came out, and I played it. I put like 4 hours into it, but I gave up. I just beat the game on December. I mean, I didn't beat it, you know, but I made it pretty far. I played the game in December, and I was like, I got into a part of the game where you're supposed to, I don't know if you remember this, it's not really a spoiler, happens like in the 3 to 4 hours in, you know, you gotta infiltrate an alien base. And when I got there, I was like, oh no, this fucking mission again? I gave up. I mean, come on. All of the bullshit that I went through with that game came back at me hard. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this again. Sorry, guys. I know maybe some of you were expecting a review of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, but I just can't bring myself to finish. I mean, I just played it, man. But I wanted to ask you guys, if you watched my review of the original version, two of my biggest complaints were, number one, that before to unlock the next chapter, in chapter 2 or 3, you get to a point where to unlock the next story chapter, you gotta complete a certain percentage of exploration from a certain continent. That's in the original version. Okay, I want to ask you guys, did that go away for the remaster? Or do you still have to explore like 15% or 20% of this continent in order to unlock the next chapter? Is that still a thing? In the remaster, I know it was a thing in the original. That turned me off. They made it more streamlined? What do you mean? Nobody knows? Nobody played the remaster? Nobody fucking played the remaster. Great. Good to know. Thanks. Okay, so my second question, I guess there's no point in asking my second question, because I wanted to ask if the affinity missions are still forced on you. In the original game, affinity missions, some of them are forced on you. So because field skills are gone, you can field skills aren't gone. They aren't gone. But you no longer need to level up. There were field skill levels are gone. That's what you mean. Field skills are not gone. But the levels are gone. You don't level up. That was a great thing. That was a great fucking thing, you know. Because often I was like, okay, to explore 15% of the entire continent, the best thing you can do is install the probes, right? But sometimes you couldn't install some of them or find a specific treasure because you need to level up your field skill. That's gone, so that's great. So they made it so it's faster. But it's still mandatory. I mean, it's still a thing. You can't progress with the story unless you complete this. Okay, so thank you. So affinity missions, I imagine they're still a thing. Because to unlock the next chapter, you need to complete one affinity mission, which is okay. Usually I have no problem with that. But sometimes the affinity mission is with a specific character you have no affinity with. Like Gwyn. I never increased my affinity with Gwyn. And near the end of the game, that's when I quit. That's what made me quit. Because there was an affinity mission that I needed to do in order to unlock the chapter 10 or 11, I think. And I couldn't because I have zero affinity with Gwyn. And I needed to increase at least one level, one heart of affinity with Gwyn to unlock his affinity mission and then unlock chapter 11 or 10, I don't remember. That was a long time ago. But man, that's fucking horseshit. And to increase the affinity mission with this guy, my question was that, did they make it easier? Did they make it easier to increase affinity with someone or your heart? You know, because as affinity score more points faster. Oh, thank God. But it's still a thing. It's still mandatory, right? Holy shit, man. No, I'm done. I mean, it's probably a great remaster. But, dude, I just don't want to go through all that bullshit again. No, I don't know the ending. No, I'm done. Don't expect a review. I gotta put up with that again, with all of that? But to unlock Chapter 5, you need to explore 15% of the continent of Mira, you know, and do this. No. Even if it's faster, it's still a thing. Why can't I just focus on the main story? Why do I have to do that? That's side optional content forced on the player. No. Fuck the remaster. I don't think it's 80 hours plus, dude. That's an exaggeration. That's right, Donsk. I've already bitched about that too, several times. Is the appearance of Barret in Final Fantasy VII woke? I don't know. That game came out in 1997. Obviously, wokeness didn't exist back then. To be honest, I don't know why they decided to include a black character in a Japanese game. Probably because I have no idea. But anyway, Barret is an awesome character anyways. I don't think that Nintendo had anything to do with that decision, man. I was just Monolith Soft. Are you gonna grow your beard like the member? No, I'll probably cut it soon. I keep forgetting. I'm too lazy. When you get to this level of beard, it's like the fucking machine, and then the scissors. Man, it takes a while. Do you like low or high power settings in your RPGs? As in, do you like to feel like the game is scaling as a significant challenge to you, or do you like to feel like a god? I don't like either. By now, you should probably know that I like balanced video games. I like games that get progressively harder. You know, I don't like difficulty spikes. I don't like my games being super hard or super easy. You know, I want to like overcome the challenges little by little, you know, and get better and get good progressively, you know, speaking, you know. That's what I like. You should already know that. Hooflong, thank you. I don't give a rat's ass about Chained Echoes. Thank you for the donation. I thought we were done with that fucking game. I've made it clear that I don't give a shit about it, and I will never play it. Even if it's free. Eric will show up clean shaven on stream soon. Imagine that. Oh, really? The songs? I have played them all too. That's an interesting argument, Melphis. It's arguable, it's debatable. Final Fantasy VII is debatable. We could talk about that game all day. I'll come back to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Editions someday, but just, man, I just went through all of that shit 3 months ago. 3 months ago, dude. I already talked about the Switch 2 controversies, Asia. Final Fantasy 7 also has cross-dressing. But they make it funny. They don't make it a political thing, at least. They don't go. I mean, maybe in the remake, you know, but in the original game, it's not like, oh, it's okay. They don't make it. They don't make a political statement with it. They just force Cloud into a very embarrassing situation, you know, because he's a cute fanboy. I don't see that as woke, though. It's just Japan being anime. Well, it was a long time ago, Hooflong. I don't blame you. But when the game came out, I suffered through months and months of people asking me about it, and every time I said, I don't care about this game, I don't want to play it, it's woke, fuck it. No thanks. You played it and you loved it, that's great. Good for you, man. More power to you. But yeah, you missed it. It's okay. Have you given a shot to Tales of Graces F Remastered? No, I haven't. I was looking into it, trying to find out if the script had been altered for modern audiences. No, nothing. There was like all I found was in a forum on Steam, some controversy about some DLC outfits, you know, but that's about it. And the game still has a lot of scenes and dialogue and lines that are like, this is what snowflakes nowadays think of as offensive. And they didn't change that? Wow, Bandai Namco didn't change the script? Wow. So it's great, right? So that means, and I also read that it runs well on PS4. I don't know about the Switch version, which is probably the version that I'm gonna play because it's free. I can emulate it. Let's see if it runs well. That I'm interested in, you know, in doing a review. Because I haven't played Tales of Graces in a million years. I beat the original PS3 version 10 years ago, I believe. You know. So yeah, I looked into Tales of Graces Remaster. I know it's been out for over a year. But I looked into it and it looks like it's no agendas, not bullshit, you know, no translation, no censorship. So yeah, I'm interested in playing it and I will at some point. Why did Final Fantasy characters become androgynous since Final Fantasy X? Because they were developed, they were drawn and designed by a grotesque named Tetsuya Nomura. I mean, they were since Final Fantasy VII, though. That's great, Asia. I couldn't care less. Exactly, Ryan. I'm ignoring it. No, I don't play sports in real life. I work out every now and then, you know. I lift, bike, stationary bike. That's all I do. Maybe, you know. What do you call this? I don't know how the name in English. What do you call this exercise? You know, this fucking exercise. That's what I do. You missed the Switch 2 drama question, Shadow Wex. Yeah, that was at the beginning. Crunches, sit-ups, sit-ups. Okay, sit-ups then. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes versus Suikoden 1 and 2 Remaster. I find it really funny that a lot of people think it's Eiyuden Chronicles because we're used to it, you know, like Valkyria Chronicles, you know, but it's not Chronicles in plural. It's Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. But even if you look it up on Google or Amazon or the autocomplete shows Eiyuden Chronicles. It's funny, but it's not Chronicles. It's Chronicle. Versus the Suikoden 1 and 2 remasters. Watch my review. I reviewed Suikoden 1 and 2 remasters a couple of weeks ago. They're better than the Eiyuden Chronicle. Even with the completely dumb and unnecessary censorship on the blood and the smoking, you know, that was fucking stupid. Okay, Ryan. Zionist, lore, and Lolita cyborgs in swimsuits, the best of love, great. The Chronicles of Narnia. Have you played Symphony of War? Nope, never heard of it. Did you hear Nine Inch Nails is composing music to the movie Tron Ares? No. It's Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. And before you think it's the same, it's not. I like Nine Inch Nails. I don't like Trent Reznor or Atticus Ross. I couldn't care less for those guys. They're part of Hollywood nowadays, so no respect. Persona 3 FES or Persona 3 Portable? Which is better? FES. Well, the big difference is that on FES, on FES, you can't control your party members, sadly, and you can do that on Portable. And on FES, you only play as the guy. Portable gives you the option to play as both the guy or the girl, you know. But I prefer FES because it has the answer, and I love Aegis. And because the UI and the exploration is just better, it has better graphics. But I think most people are gonna say that Portable is better because of that. Trinity Trigger, I haven't played it. That's the new action RPG that came out like 2 years ago, right? Published by Exit Games, if I'm not mistaken. Never played it. Aiden Chronicles, it's terrible, man. Terrible game, man. Fucking terrible. That is the worst RPG on the 64. People think it's Quest 64. No, Quest 64 is a masterpiece compared to Aiden Chronicles. I already talked about the Switch, Nintendo Switch 2, man. Which Lunar is better now that the remaster is coming out? I don't know. I've only beaten the first one. I never beat the second one. But I think, I don't know. Melfi says Lunar 2. Playing through Suikoden 4? Should I play Tactics after or 5? Tactics, it does matter. Play Tactics next. But Tactics isn't indispensable, okay? You can play 5 if you want to. Try playing Tactics first, give it a chance. You will understand more about what happened in Suikoden 4 and about the rune cannons. And it's a big deal. The entirety of Suikoden Tactics focuses on the rune cannons. And how it's doing a lot of shit, you know. That's why, because if you play Suikoden 5, you're gonna be like, what happened to the rune cannons? Play Suikoden Tactics. And you'll understand. Best Grandia game? Probably 2. My favorite is 3. But I think 2 is legitimately the best one, in my opinion. I reviewed Atelier Yumiya, Kevin, about a week ago. Watch my review and you'll understand why, maybe. Like, you gotta understand something. When it comes to modern games, I don't really know why people like them or dislike them. I don't give a shit. I know why I like them or dislike them, you know, but I don't watch reviews. I don't read reviewers, you know, I don't care. When it comes to strategy or games, which games is a good place for beginners to start? I've done videos on that topic, Jerry. There's like 2 or 3 videos on our strategy RPGs for beginners. Be sure to watch mine. For some reason they were shadow banned and destroyed by the competition. If you can call it a competition. If you were stranded on a desert island, East 8 style, who will be in your party of 6? Good question. Man, now that I've been playing Shining Blade, I can't stop thinking about the girls from Shining Blade. So the girls from Shining Blade. Are you asking me specifically about East characters or East 8 characters? There's only 6 party members in East 8. So it's probably not that. What are the conditions to answer your question, Brian? I haven't played the Atelier Marie remake. Have you watched Shutter Island movie? The Leonardo DiCaprio movie? Yeah. I watched it and I saw the plot twist coming from a mile away because I've seen other stories and movies and shows and books like that. So, I know it was a big deal for a lot of people, that movie, you know, it's highly regarded because of that plot twist, but to me it was just like, I saw it coming. I mean, it's basically the same, a very similar plot twist to that of Fight Club. So if you watched Fight Club, and you're a big fan of Fight Club, and then you watch Shutter Island, the plot twist in Shutter Island is no big deal. That's all I'm gonna say to avoid spoilers. I have reviewed East 10 Trash Lord before. It's in a video that failed, sadly. I don't know why. What I'm gonna do is probably take that review and add a little bit more once Proud Nordics comes out, you know, to trash Miss America again. Oh yeah, man, I have a lot of plans to watch that movie. Six characters from any RPG? No, come on, man. There's like, you're asking that question to a guy who's played like 600 RPGs in his life. Like, right now I'm playing Shining Blade. I wanna get stranded on a desert island with those babes. Look them up. Google the Shining Blade girl characters. oh yeah. I will get lost in a desert island with Sakuya forever. I don't need 6 girls. All I need is Sakuya. That's all I need. That's all I need, man. I don't need 6 girls. All I need is to get stranded on a desert island with her. That's all I need. Hope that answers your question. What is your best Lovecraftian movie ever? Give me some examples. I probably watched something that was Lovecraftian and I don't even know. Have you seen the new Fatal Fury game? Nope, and I don't give a shit about it. Okay, fine, you have to actually escape the island. Who'll be your picks? I just showed it to you. That's my new waifu, man. Falcom is remastering East 10 in Japan? Oh, are you maybe confused by East 10 Nordics? Proud Nordics? Because it's not a remaster, it's basically like Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance, like Persona 5 Royal. It's like the same game with extra content, you know? The writing is fine, it's just Miss America completely butchering the localization to insert political agendas, you know that. Where is she from? Shining Blade, I've been saying this for 10 minutes. I guess both. For Falcom flagship franchise, I guess both nowadays, but East was one of their first games. Actually, the flagship of Falcom was Dragon Slayer. Believe it or not. Neither of those. If someone said to you, you can only keep 10 games out of your whole collection, the rest have to go, what 5 are you keeping? You just said 10 and now you change it to 5? So what is it, 10 or 5? Asia, maybe he's asking, should we be concerned about modern indie developers eventually becoming AAA companies? No, the large majority are never gonna become AAA developers. Like the huge majority. Maybe 1 or 2 companies will. You know, but not really. Okay, my top 10 games. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I will keep the rarest and most expensive ones. Because, for example, if I get rid of my Chrono Cross copy, I know for a fact I can still get it for relatively cheap later. So those 10 will probably be the rarest or most expensive ones in my collection, like Haunting Ground, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Ragnarok Tactics, Suikoden 2, Valkyrie Profile, Kudelka, Wild Arms 5. You know, exactly, yeah. Makes sense, right? I mean, I know there's a lot of people, there's a lot of collectors out there who have a lot of nostalgia for some of the original copies they had when they were little, or when they were teenagers, or, oh, this is the first game I bought for my collection. The first game I kept for my collection was my copy of Xenogears. So, well, that's a rare one. But let's pretend Xenogears is a $20 game. You know, wow, that would be great, right? For a lot of you. But if Xenogears wasn't rare and expensive, I will still get rid of it. I still have nostalgia that that's the first original game that I kept for my collection, but if it was $20, you know, I can get it later, you know. I have nostalgia, but that's not stopping me from getting rid of it. Yeah, I will only keep the super expensive ones. Never sell it. Don't worry, I probably never will. Why isn't there an RPG that takes place in Durango, Mexico? Is there an RPG that takes place in Mexico? There are, actually. There's some. There's Tombs and Treasure on the NES. By Falcom. It did come to North America. It's mostly a point-and-click game, but they made it into an RPG too, like a turn-based RPG. You know, it's not great. It's not a great game, but it's there, you know. And it takes place in the pyramids of Mexico. But I don't know any game that takes place in Durango. Well, Donsk, I don't think there's ever gonna be a Valkyrie Profile 1 remaster because of a couple of years ago they released the game with upscale graphics for PS4 and PS5 digital. It's based on the PSP version though, not in the PS1 version. There's barely any differences between PSP and PS1 versions. The PSP version has the cinematics, you know, but apart from that, I don't remember any other. There's one difference that I'm forgetting, but there's barely any difference, PS1 or PSP. So, I don't think we'll ever see a remaster of Valkyrie Profile or remake, because Sony just released that, you know. And they're probably gonna do the same with the second game at some point. Just port it to the PlayStation 5 digitally, upscale the graphics, and that's it. And really, that's all it needs. I don't need a remake with altered content, censored, left-wing bullshit, or even right-wing bullshit, any political bullshit to appease the politicians and that. No. Just fucking put the fucking game digital on the PlayStation Store, upscale graphics, the end. We don't need remasters or fucking remakes anymore. Do you have any interest in the Eden's Zero game? I don't know what that is. Never heard of it. Wild Arms 3 World is practically Durango? That's a good one. I agree, Brando. I agree with that. Daybreak is not a good game. Exactly, AA. Imagine trusting modern Square Enix. Exactly my point. See, remakes, remasters like Bravely Default, you know, I don't give a shit. Fuck that. Saga Frontier 2, no. Dante's Inferno versus God of War PSP. I haven't played those versions. I play the PS3 versions and I prefer Dante's Inferno. Do you know of any JRPG that may as well be or straight up set in Mexico? Maybe if Wild Arms revived, now and then people will bitch about it. No, it doesn't take place in Filgaia anymore. It's in fucking Mexico. No. A lot of people hate my country nowadays. I don't blame you. I hate it too. Well, I don't hate my country. I hate the government in my country. The people who run this country. Let's not talk about that. Fuck politics. What happened to Penny Blood and Armed Fantasia? I don't know. Let's find out right now. Okay, I'm in the Kickstarter website right now. Fucking cookies. Stick your cookies up your ass, Kickstarter. I don't know why it says right now for Penny Blood, final 24 hours. Last updated March 14, 2025, so almost a month ago. Let's see the latest updates. Let's go to the update section. Oh, fuck. So here we go. We regret to announce that both projects, originally scheduled to launch in March 2025, have been delayed. As a result, we will be reducing the number of Kickstarter updates from once a month to once every 2 or 3 months. The time spent on updates will be used to focus on the development of both titles, finding more partners, and providing our supporters with more substantial and exciting updates. Thank you for your understanding. Wow, and then Kaneko, the person in charge of total game design and scenario writer of Armed Fantasia, he says, we announced the game was scheduled to be released in March 2025, but after much discussion among the team and the developers, and as a result of the current progress of the project, it has been decided to review and postpone the launch date of Armed Fantasia. We are truly sorry for the delay. We will continue to discuss the changed release date and other matters. I am unable to disclose any further specifics of the situation at this time, but since I was able to report this decision to you now, it should be clear that we are still moving things forward little by little. We are working to bring Armed Fantasia closer to its ideal form and to go beyond the realistic limitations of the project. The campaign team and the developers are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into the wasteland of Londenium, not Filgaia. So we appreciate your continued support and encouragement. We will do our best. I imagine the same thing can be said about Penny Blood. Last update directly from Penny Blood was something weird called the White Day. I guess it's Valentine's Day. Oh yeah, in Japan, females give males chocolate on Valentine's Day, and males are supposed to so there's your answer, man. The games were supposed to be released last month, and they were delayed indefinitely because they wanted. This is the same thing that happened with Shin Megami Tensei 5. Remember when it was announced for 2020 and it was delayed until 2021? So I'm guessing, yeah, it's sad. I'm guessing they're gonna be delayed until the end of the year, or maybe until next year. We don't know what's gonna happen. I, for one, believe that if they feel like they need more time to develop the games and make them better, sure, do it. But on the other hand, it's a bit disappointing that they promised a release date and they failed. That happens a lot nowadays, even with AAA studios, you know. So I have mixed feelings about this, but I think I'm more of the take as much time as you need mentality. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't think they're dead, man. So because of that, I missed some of your questions. That looks badass, Fenrir Fire. Xenogears. Eden's Zero is an anime and they are making a game. Great. Konami used to be one of the best companies, but recent decisions with the corporate changed that. That's right. Do you think physical games will be more expensive with a new tariff? Yep. Yep. Thank you, Trump. Now your $80 games are gonna be like $90 or $100 here in Mexico. Thanks. I don't know, Brian. It says Viper Race 8, right? Isn't that the name of the game? Viper or Race 8? I don't know. I don't know why I have that. I saw the song in my library and I was like, what the fuck is this? I was hoping somebody will recognize it, but I don't think so. How would you feel about a Guacamelee JRPG? And do you want it real-time or turn-based? I played Guacamelee. It's a side-scroller Metroidvania, right? I played a little bit of it. It was fine. I liked it, you know. But I will need to finish it to answer that question, to say, oh, now that I finished it, I will probably like a turn-based JRPG. I don't know, you know. Basically, the games are in development hell. That's your conclusion. I don't know. I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions now. I don't know. Something's happening. We saw what happened between Penny Blood and Kickstarter. The Penny Blood development studio sued Kickstarter because they were refusing to pay some fees to them. So I don't know if that's still going on, probably. Because lawsuits take forever, you know. So that's probably another reason why. Probably. That's just my hypothesis. Probably another reason why the games were delayed. But we don't know. We can only speculate. They aren't sharing anything with us. Hopefully the games will be developed and released at some point, you know. And not win any political crap. Just keep it real. Oh, thank you, Eikichi. Going all the way back to the Lovecraftian movies. Okay, so examples. Mountains of Madness. I haven't seen that. Colors Out of Space. Never seen that. 12 Monkeys. I have seen that. That's a really good movie. And there was a show. There was a show based on it, which was really good as well, and it got cancelled. Seven is a good movie, but I feel it's very overrated. Like, people put in a really high standard, you know? It's a great movie, don't take me wrong, I like it, but I don't think it's like, wow. Shutter Island, I just talked about it. I think it's a good movie, but I saw the plot twist coming from a mile away. Jacob's Ladder, I haven't seen it, I would love to see it. That's with Jeff Daniels, right? Event Horizon, great fucking movie, I love it. I hate the director though, I hate what the director did with Resident Evil and Mortal Kombat, fuck that guy. But that was a great fucking movie. Donnie Darko, another movie I feel it's a bit overrated, but it's a good movie. I like it, you know. So okay, apparently I do like some Lovecraftian movies. But out of the ones you mentioned, probably 12 Monkeys and Event Horizon are the best ones. The Mist? Well, that's Stephen King, right? Isn't that Stephen King? I saw the movie The Mist. It's a good movie. It's a bit slow though, but it's a good movie. There was also a show which was kind of shitty. I'm glad it was cancelled, but for some reason I was liking it. How do you feel about a Worms RPG? Bring it on. Do you think the Dreamcast, Sega Saturn will end up on the Nintendo expansion online? That will be fucking great. Because GameCube, how many games were on it? Beg Nintendo to put Path of Radiance there. It needs to be there for the sake of the price. I already have the physical version. I have a physical version of Path of Radiance. I can emulate Path of Radiance in this laptop, no problem. I personally don't need that. But for the sake of the people who are against emulation and want to play everything legally, put Path of Radiance on your GameCube emulator, Nintendo. Oh, Path of Radiance is confirmed to be there. Are you sure? Can somebody else confirm that for me? Because if that's true... Oh, that's great! That's great news for you guys. Now you don't have to commit a crime and emulate it on your computer. You're safe now. You don't have to commit a crime and do something illegal. Are you a fan of slasher flicks like Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween? Not really. I always found those movies dumb as fuck. They're more like comedies than horror movies, to be honest. But they're okay, you know. I haven't played Fantasia Neo Dimension, Olivia. I know there's a demo on PS5 and I can download it right now, but for some reason I don't feel like it. I don't know, it's just modern games. You know me, they turn me off. What if Mexico made an RPG based on the Toltecs, an ancient Mesoamerican group who apparently did not practice humans? I don't know. I don't know. Did you ever watch Monsters Ball? Wow, isn't that the raunchy film with Halle Berry and Billy Bob Thornton? Actually, that's a good film. That's an interesting film. Great sex scene. There's some evidence out there, if you can find it, that the sex scene was kinda real. It is, right? Monsters Ball, right? That's the movie. Yeah. What pisses me off about that movie is that they gave Halle Berry the Oscar for that. Come on, we all know they gave her the Oscar because she was black. She's done better performances before. Why? It's like Denzel Washington winning the Oscar for Training Day. What? I mean, the guy has made other incredible fucking performances and he got nothing. But hey, here's your Oscar for Training Day. Why? Because you're black. And we want to show the world that was the beginning of wokeness in the Oscars, 20 years ago. Training Day is a great fucking movie. I'm not trashing the movie, but Denzel Washington didn't deserve an Oscar for that performance. He's made others that were fucking great, like Halle Berry. Halle Berry, here's your Oscar because the sex scene was probably real. It looked real. Here's your, well, okay, I'll give you that. A movie called The Gorge. Never seen it. The Final Girl. Never seen it. Exactly, they stole Russell Crowe Oscar. Exactly, Ruslan, my point. And wasn't Sean Penn nominated too for I Am Sam? Fuck Sean Penn. I hate Sean Penn nowadays, but he was a great fucking actor back then. And dude, I Am Sam. That's the best fucking performance I've seen Sean Penn doing. Well, they gave him the Oscar for Mystic River some years later, Hey, here's your Oscar for... Mystic River is good. It's a good movie. Good performance. I think his performance was worthy of the Oscar nomination. But he didn't deserve the Oscar. They probably gave him the Oscar because I Am Sam. I mean, I Am Sam... What... How can you play a retard so well? I mean, that guy was a genius actor, man. Anyway. Isn't it funny that I still remember this? These are movies from 20 years ago. When I still cared about the Oscars. Like Leo getting the Oscar for The Revenant. Actually... I think it kind of deserved it, I think that's a movie that, just think about it. He went through a lot of shit for the movie. What he goes through in the movie, a lot of it was real. Acting in those harsh environments. Like, I know they probably gave him the Oscar because they owed him with so many great performances, right? Like, he totally deserved the Oscar for... Why are we talking about the Oscars? This is a JRPG channel. Let's talk about that. Like that question. I've never received that question before. Look at this question. Will we ever get a Chrono Trigger remaster? No one's ever asked me that before. Those are the questions we shall be addressing. Chrono Trigger remaster. Xenosaga remaster. Hey Artworks AI, that's your username? I've been a supporter of your videos for many years. Keep up the great work on your videos. Supporter as in you just watch them? Or are you a Patreon with a different name? Well, thank you anyway. I just want to know who you are. Sean Penn Remastered. Do you think there's a time when you'll run out of stuff to cover? Never. An hour ago before you showed up, I was just answering a question about how I choose my games for my backlog. And boy, I have like a million. No, I'll never run out of stuff to cover. In fact, I'll die and there will still be stuff to cover. I'll have to become a reviewer in the afterlife. Ever played through the Ancient Cave in the Lufia series? No, like the post-game dungeons? I don't think I did. Exactly, Zema Duvan, that's exactly what's gonna happen. No, that's not gonna happen. But a Chrono Trigger remake will probably have Ayla censored. Most likely, a lot of jokes and dialogues will be changed because they're offensive. And then they will turn Flea into an icon or something. That's what will happen. I don't think that they're gonna make the characters gay. The dumbest game you ever played in terms of story? Dumbest with a negative remark? Or as in funny, silly, you know? What do you mean? Chrono Trigger always shares a special place in your heart. In mine too, especially because of the music. That soundtrack. Oh man. When the soundtrack is the best thing about the game. Yeah, to each their own. Camelot best game for you? You mean Camelot software planning? Why, obviously Shining Force. Oh, thank you, Artworks. Okay. I thought you were a Patreon, you know, with a different name, with a different username here. That's okay. Thank you for watching my videos. Not really, Kevin. I don't look forward to anything anymore. What has been your favorite style of storytelling in any JRPG? Wow, I haven't seen that question in... Why is your username Kellogg's Brand? Why is your username Kellogg's Brand? What? And you even have the icon of the cornflakes on your... You made my day, man. Sorry, what was the question? What? He's a PR agent from Kela. Oh my god. What has been your favorite style of storytelling in a JRPG? So I remember a long time ago somebody asked me that, and my reply was Grow Lancer. Joe Haduki. Let me show you this guy, one of my favorite writers in JRPGs. My favorite is Masato Kato, of course, because Chrono Cross and Trigger. But this guy is probably my second favorite. Well, Yoko Taro would probably be my second, I don't know. But this is one of my favorites. You know, this guy. His name is Yo Haduki. Like yo, with an H at the end. Yo Haduki. He is the guy who wrote all of the Langrisser games, all of the Grow Lancer games, and the first Devil Survivor. He wasn't involved in Devil Survivor 2, and it shows. And he also wrote like other games, right? He co-wrote Radiant Historia. This guy. So he's one of my favorite writers, to be honest. But specifically when it comes to the Grow Lancer series, I just love that level of storytelling, how your decisions really do matter and greatly affect everything. This is something that was there since the Land Greaser days. But in the Land Greaser, it isn't just... There's not a lot of decision making in the Land Greaser series. There's way more decision making in Grow Lancer. And I just love that storytelling. When it comes to JRPGs, I love that level of storytelling, you know. That would be my answer. I think I prefer like Masato Kato and Yoko Taro. I mean, Yoko Taro is just fucked up, and I love fucked up stuff. We need more fucked up stuff in JRPGs. Yoko Taro level, you know, with no censorship, you know. But yeah, when it comes to like storytelling and narrative in JRPGs, I think I prefer that Yo Haduki style, because I don't know, there's just something about the storytelling that keeps you immersed, very immersed. That's my guy. That's my answer. Have you played the game Alisa? I saw it on the PlayStation Store a few times, but I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a horror game like Resident Evil, you know. Maybe I'll play it. Maybe I will. When a game makes you choose between a noble cause or chaotic one, what do you usually choose? Oh, that's kind of connected to what I was just saying. The Grow Lancer series are the same. You can go the chaos route, the good route, this or that route, you know? Kind of like there are more routes in Grow Lancer than in the Shin Megami Tensei series. But I usually go with neutral, not because I'm a neutral guy, but because that's usually the canon ending and considered as the canon true ending, you know? I usually go with that. But then on second playthroughs, I go for the chaotic route. Are there any games that do a similar thing to Thousand Nights of Dreams or in Lost Odyssey? Let me think. That they give you, like in small visual novel segments, some backstory. Yeah, not the best example, but the first game that came into my mind was Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. There's a character quests episodes that are like visual novel segments, short visual novel segments. I mean, it's mostly just character background and dumb, silly stories, you know. But it's the same concept. The concept is the same. There's probably others, you know. That was the first thing that came to mind. I like the Saga Frontier 2 soundtrack. It's fine, not my favorite, you know. Yeah, Nier was another example. The original Nier. Automata didn't have that. But Replicant and Gestalt had that, you know. It was just a segment of the game, though. It's a shame we can't play as Kaine in Nier 1. Can I get Guillermo del Toro to make Mexico's video game masterpiece like Black Myth Wukong? Sure. Do you watch anime? Sure, I do. Not so much anymore nowadays because I just play a lot of JRPGs. And I find a lot of similarities between the plot of anime series and the plot of JRPGs. I have enough with JRPGs. That's how I watch anime, by playing JRPGs. How can you know the difference on storytelling, narrative, or are they the same? When I say narrative, I mean how the story is told. A game or a movie can have a great story, but if the story is told poorly, it's different, right? There's a difference between what's the story about and how the story is told. Narrative is basically the same as storytelling. Synonyms. They're the same thing. How it's told, you know? By the characters, by the lore of the game, by the NPCs, you know, that. Sometimes a game can have like a really good story, but the storytelling or the narrative can be a bit bad or confusing. Or take the Tales games, for example. They usually have like meh stories. The plot is like stupid or like whatever. But the storytelling is great because it's carried and told by the characters and they go through different situations. That's why, hence the name of the games, Tales, in plural. They go through different tales, you know. The Tales games are always like that, you know. They're always about one thing at the beginning and 3 hours later the plot is like something different. And 6 hours later, something entirely different again. So that's what I'm talking about. So the Tales games don't really have great stories, but they have great storytelling because of the characters. Noriyuki Wadare, phenomenal composer. What's my favorite Shining Force? I've yet to play 3. So I guess I will pick the first one. Shining Force, the first one. Automata had a segment of the game that was like that. I don't remember it. It probably did, but I don't remember it. Do you prefer linear video games with one singular ending or non-linear games with multiple endings? I'm okay with either. I don't have time. I don't have a lot of time to do all the roots and endings of one game nowadays. So I think nowadays I prefer singular endings. Yeah. Yes, I have played Monster Hunter stories. They're good. What's your favorite narrative-heavy hack and slash? Dante's Inferno. It has a lot of narrative. Why do I feel like staying away from playing the Secret of Mana remake? Well, it got a lot of hate because it wasn't that great of a remake. People were expecting something much better. That was a long time ago. I have played the remake, and it's good. You know, it holds up. I think it was the graphics that people didn't like, or I don't know. Sorry that I can't go deep in that question. I think I need to play it again to really have an opinion about it. Maybe I will at some point. Your opinion on Microsoft's strategy of releasing its exclusive games on PS5? Wow. I didn't know Microsoft was doing that. That's interesting. I'm just finding out about that thanks to your question, so I don't know. That's interesting. Will we ever see Halo on PS5? How many games do you complete in a month? Or does it vary heavily? It varies heavily. Yeah. It varies. 5, 2. I don't know, it depends. Yeah, it varies. Have you played Ashura's Wrath? Yeah, a little bit at the beginning. It was okay. I didn't quite like it that much because of the quick time events. Not really a fan of those. Have you lost the liking to platformers? No? No, I haven't. What makes you say that? Eric's favorite Suikoden as variable as the week. My favorite Suikoden has always been 5. What are you talking about? Suikoden 5 has been my favorite Suikoden since I played it like 15 years ago. Nothing's changed. There's no variable in that. This month, Microsoft will release Forza Horizon and the Indiana Jones games on PS5. Also Halo in the future. Wow, maybe it isn't a strategy. It kind of feels... I could be wrong though, but maybe it feels like maybe Microsoft is dying. Maybe they're gonna do the same as Sega. Just quit the console market and release everything on Nintendo or PlayStation. Imagine Xbox dying. That's a sign that the company is dying, though. Maybe it isn't a strategy, but I don't know. What the hell do I know, right? I'm not that very well informed. Do you think we'll see a resurgence of AAA companies making games with PS1, 2, 3, and 64, GameCube, original Xbox graphics? No, I don't think so. No, they will continue making more, but every now and then. I don't think there's gonna be a resurgence. Any short RPGs that I can finish in one night? 5 to 6 hours. Oof. You will have to go back to all of those games from the NES, SNES era. You know, and even a lot of SNES games are super long. Try out maybe Code of Princess. It's more of a beat 'em up than an RPG though. Same with Muramasa the Demon Blade. The original Ys games, Ys 1 and 2, you can beat them in like 5 or 6 hours maybe. If you're good enough, because those games are super hard. You're gonna have to get good, but you can play them on easy. Maybe you'll be fine, but I think even on easy, they're still pretty hard. If you're interested, I did a top 50. Top 50 short, the greatest short JRPGs ever made. Check that video out. None of the JRPGs in there are over 20 hours. But there's a lot of games that are like around 10 hours, you know. You might want to give that video a chance. Most of my viewers don't really give a shit about other video game genres, don't. Except RPGs. That's why I don't talk about other genres. I don't know about that, Roberto. Patapon, I saw the Patapon remaster. You know, we'll see what happens. My favorite Growlancer game ever. Seriously, Smiling Dog? I know your username. You've been a fan for years. You should know by now it's 5. Go to my blog. In the description of this video, this live stream right now, you will see a link to my blog. Click on it, and you'll see what are the highest ranked games in my opinion. Do you have new ideas for new mini games at the end of the Q&A? Sure. But every time I do mini games, people don't do super chats for some reason, so that's the reason why I stopped. Have you heard of game key cards? Yeah, we talked about that 2 hours ago, like an hour and a half ago. Undertale is garbage, woke garbage, don't play it. How do you feel about a Parasite Eve movie? Guess what? There is a Parasite Eve movie. In Japan, it came out a long time ago. I've never seen it. You know, Parasite Eve was based on a book. And I think the movie and the book came before the game. Well, the book obviously did, but I think the movie came before the game. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie though. Like a new movie by Hollywood? Oh, sure. Sure, imagine a new movie. Live action movie based on Parasite Eve by Hollywood. Imagine that. Aya Bree will have to be a bald black lesbian to make it work. And then well, you already have a black guy as the police officer. But he has a family, and he's a family guy, and that can be, you know. No, he's not gonna have a kid. Instead, this guy's gonna be a trans. Japan needs to make that movie. Olivia, maybe. That movie will be as good as Dragon Ball Evolution. Or Snow... Prince... What was the name? Snow fucking... The Disney movie. She will also be in a wheelchair? Nah, because she couldn't fire her gun and go around. Snow White, sorry, that fucking movie. Have you watched the Higurashi anime? That's Higurashi no Naku Koroni. That's one of my 10 favorite anime series of all time, dude. I love it. Do you enjoy roguelike RPGs like Stars Renegade or in general? The ones that I kind of enjoy are more in the Shiren the Wanderer vein. I just beat Isuna. The Unemployed Ninja, and I loved it. I just reviewed it recently in a video. Snow Brown. I'm surprised they didn't make her Snow Brown. Well, she's kind of brown. I'm surprised they didn't put a black actress for that, you know? Like in Wicked. Fuck that show. Nah, Roberto, nah. What do you think of Sea of Stars? I only played the demo and it was fine. I wasn't impressed. They are making a live action of the Claymore manga? Really? In Japan? It's gonna be trash. Any movies you would like to see made into RPGs? No, none. I can tell you what anime series I would like to have a JRPG based on. Claymore is one of them. Speaking about Claymore, Ergo Proxy, all of my favorites need a JRPG, or at least a video game. You know, I want a video game based on Ajin. I want a new season of High Score Girl. I don't know. Babylon? Nah, that wouldn't work. How could you make a video game based on Babylon? Maybe just a visual novel? Nah. Claymore has a lot of potential. Claymore is basically Berserk with girls. And there's only one game based on Claymore on the Nintendo DS, exclusive to Japan. It's fucking ass. Any movies you would like to see made into... Oh yeah, that was I read the same question. Sorry. I love Magna Carta. What happened to the Kellogg's guy? He probably got offended and left. Maybe he was an employee of Kellogg's and got offended. I don't know. Or maybe he's still around. Some lurkers every now and then show up and ask something, you know? But then they shut up again forever. I wish they didn't. Come on, lurkers! Where are your goddamn questions? I only have the same guys asking questions again every Q&A. Like the same 30 guys. We need more lurkers to ask questions. I don't bite. I only get angry if you pretend censorship doesn't exist. I don't know what to... Asema Duvan, you're not a lurker. I know who you are. I mean, lurkers like the Kellogg's guy. You know, like that. I've never seen that username before in my life. And he made a really interesting question, you know. Sometimes lurkers ask the best questions. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're like... Tom Selleck, like that guy, you know. You're really rare. This isn't the first time you've made a comment. We talked about Blue Bloods when you showed up last time. I do have a rainbow crowd just patiently waiting for me to say something that will offend them so they can go and bitch about it on Reddit. They're always here. Hello! Hello, Rainbow Crowd. Reddit. Let's call it... Forget about Rainbow Crowd. It's the Reddit crowd. Hello, Reddit crowd. Probably the Kellogg's guy got offended because I laughed. Maybe he was serious, you know. Maybe he does work for Kellogg's and got offended. What can I say? That's right, Fantonium. Yes, I knew that. Crow and Sierra. Kalas and Shelha. The localization of Batten Kaitos was trash. I don't know where... that's a lurker. A lurker asks, will tariffs affect YouTube revenue for creators outside of the USA? Probably. YouTube has been fucking up content creators for years, man. Every time something political happens, they fuck us even more. So I can guarantee you they will continue to fuck us more with the tariffs. This is the reason why you should support your favorite YouTubers and content creators. Because soon we will be left out of a job. And we will leave. And we will start creating private content. Do you want that? Or do you want the content to continue to be free? Support your content creators, guys. Ad revenue and sponsorship are not cutting it anymore. No, I'm not gonna play Silent Hill F. Make YouTube great again. Oh, I haven't made a t-shirt, you know. Instead I'm wearing an Emil t-shirt. And I shouldn't wear this fucking t-shirt, you know. This is probably a political point by the Rainbow Crowd. Oops, sorry for the spoiler. Will you play an RPG from the Warhammer universe? No. Another lurker! Haven't seen that guy. Eigengrau 87. Welcome to the chat. No, I'm not a fan of the Warhammer, and it is my understanding that Warhammer nowadays is really bad. You remember my Hunting Ground stream? Wow, Ilias. You're an old fan. That was like 5 years ago. You want... Okay, maybe I'll do that on Twitch. Definitely not on YouTube, you know. You stream here and it's like shooting yourself in the knee. Yeah, why not? Some survival horror games streams on Twitch. Definitely. Radiant Silvergun or Ikaruga? Ooh. Brutally hard games. I think I'm gonna stick with Radiant Silvergun. Don't take me wrong, Ikaruga is fantastic, but Radiant Silvergun is the shit, man. Such a good looking game. Super hardcore though. Fairy Fencer F. The first game is good. Actually, there's only one game. A sequel you may have seen or heard. No, it's not real. It doesn't exist. It's a fabrication by AI. No, Fairy Fencer F, there's only one game. And it's good. And the girls are hot. The Gone Girl is the hottest girl there. I heard your feelings? I've never seen your username before. Or maybe I have. Maybe you're one of those guys that only says one or two things every now and then. I don't know. I haven't memorized every single username, and sometimes you guys change them. Do you know any platform RPG besides Pop Full Mail or Odin's? Odin's Sphere is not a platformer. There's barely any platforming in there. They added more in the remaster though, but it's barely any platformer. Well, how about Frontier Hunter? It's a Metroidvania though, with a really good platformer RPG. Are you gonna play Path of Radiance on Switch? No, I can emulate Path of Radiance on my computer, no problem. I don't need to pay money for it. RMK245. Are you another lurker? I have played Shining Soul 1 and 2 on the Game Boy Advance. They're pretty bad. I made a live stream of Shining Soul 1 on my worst JRPGs ever live streams. Check it out. It's bad. That's my opinion though. If you like the games, good for you, but... Actually, if you do, can you explain to us why? Any one thing you miss from the UK or Canada? The weather. Well, in Canada, winter was really extreme, but I'd rather have that than the extreme hot weather we are experiencing right now in Mexico. So believe it or not, I miss the weather. Also in the UK, I know the UK was raining almost every day, but I prefer that. I also prefer the culture, not the modern culture, the ancient culture in the UK, the buildings, the architecture. I miss that a lot. The vibe from it, you know. I miss that. I miss the fact that there's a lot of pubs and bars with rock and metal music. And in Mexico, in Guadalajara, it's like there's like 3 in the entire city. It's bad. I have nowhere to go, nowhere to hang out with, you know. And in the UK, there were these pubs. There was rock music and metal music, you know, and I like that. Gothic music, you know. I miss that a lot. In Canada, specifically about the town I lived in, it was a really small town, so I miss that a lot. Living in a small town, I miss that a lot. I miss the game stores. They were close by in both countries. Here, all the game stores are super far away. Those are the things that I miss the most. Will you play Persona 6? Is Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes a good game? I don't know, I haven't played it. Is there any good RPGs on the Game Boy Advance? I have made videos on the Game Boy Advance, check them out, you will find a lot of greatness in there. Really, Donsk? As if you didn't know, Path of Radiance is my favorite Fire Emblem game. I know who you are, Ilias. You're Stacy P on Twitch, I know who you are. Which RPGs have the best metal music? Is anything from Falcom or Shin Megami Tensei, man. Oh, shoot 'em ups as well, you're right. Dude, Lords of Thunder, Gate of Thunder, holy shit. That's right, Fantonium, I'm not surprised. Oh, there's a demo already? I'm not gonna bother with it. I was looking forward to that game, you know, the 100 line, but as soon as I saw the localization, I was like, fuck this, no. What the fuck? I'm not playing that. There's a group called The Keys at the moment, like a group, what do you mean, a band? You like Phantasy Star Online? No. It's not that I don't like it, it's that I can't play it. I don't really play MMORPGs. Too addictive for me. Dangerous. Those are dangerous games. Couldn't care less, Roberto, about cryptocurrencies. The Japanese business model. Yeah, they're drugs. They are. The new Hyrule Warriors is a prequel to Tears of the Kingdom? Well, since I'm the biggest Zelda fan out there, I should care, right? I played the Goemon Mystical Ninja series before. I played the Super Nintendo one. It was a fun game. It's a fun game. I'm not really a big fan though, but they're fun. I don't like Animal Crossing. So tell us all about the case, snooty nerd. Tell us all about that group, man. What was your last new console hype to get it? Never. Huh. The PS2, maybe? Maybe? I don't like hype for anything. That's it. Great news, snooty nerd. Now we know. This music from Sakuna of Rise and Ruin is too loud. Did you know that this game, Sakuna of Rise and Ruin, did you guys know it sold over 1 million copies worldwide? I'm not making it up. I should have put this game in my top 10 JRPGs that are no longer hidden gems. I made that video last year. Well, I made 2 videos, you know. I'm not gonna make a third one. But Sakuna of Rise and Ruin is not really a hidden gem anymore. 1 million copies? That's not a those are not hidden gem numbers. It's pretty famous. There's already an anime based on it. There's a spin-off in development. You know, a mobile game in development. It's a media franchise now, and it's big. 1 million copies. Good for them, the publishers? No, good for them, the developers. Never wish well on a publisher. I wasn't a fan of the band Nightwish. I know the band, it's cool, but not really. The Gathering connected more with me. You wish Mitsuda will make Celtic music for every game? Ooh, yeah, that'll be great. Speaking about Baten Kaitos. Thank you, Donsk, for that. Favorite version of the Night of Nightmares? Night of Nightmares? You mean Nights in the Nightmare? I hate that game, any version. Rex Viper Wars Band? I'm not a fan, but I think it's an okay band. I don't like that fucking guy, though. What was his name? Justin? Oh my, he should just get the fuck off the stage. I already answered that question, War of Souls, a long time ago. You probably missed the answer. How dare you ask me a question and then leave while I'm answering it? Alright, guys, that's it. I gotta go now. I'm just being an asshole, War of Souls. But I did answer your question the first time you asked it. You're gonna have to rewatch the entire stream. It's too bad. Goodbye, Baten Kaitos, with a terrible translation.